guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be, like the title said, an affordable drugstore fall smoky eye slash makeup look. All of the products that I use in today's video are from the drugstore or from Ulta. I don't know, some people don't consider Ulta a drugstore. I do. They got affordable stuff in there. But yeah, so everything is here in this video is going to be affordable for you guys. We are going to be using the Morphe 350 palette. This is a cool tone smoky fall eye. So I'm going to show you guys ways to avoid end up looking like you have a black eye when you're using cool tones. Cool tones can be kind of tricky just because they're grayish colors, and grayish tends to look like bruise or black eye. So I'm going to show you how to avoid that look. And I'm going to show you some products that I really enjoy from, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me in this video. Before I forget, please if you have not yet, subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. That way you know when my next video will be and you don't miss it. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Let's just jump into this video. Bye! Alright guys, let's just seriously jump right into this. We are, as I said in the intro, going to be using the Morphe palette. I already primed my eyes, I've moisturized my skin, and I've already done my eyebrows because I think all of that is super simple. I don't think you need me showing you how to do that, so that is why we are already where we are with this look. Anyway, okay, so let's just jump into it. When you're working with cool tones, it's very important to start with a very light cool tone shade and then just keep going darker and darker the closer you get to your lid. Cool tones can be pretty intimidating for a lot of people because the end result can easily start looking like a black eye. That is not the look that the majority of us are going for, so I'm going to try to teach you how to avoid looking like you have a black eye on your face with makeup. Okay, so this is of course the Morphe 350 palette, and I will typically go in with a neutral tone for my transition shade just because I don't want to take a gray super up close to my eyebrow, and I have a lot of space, a lot more typical space between my eyelid and my eyebrow, so I don't want to take a gray all the way up there. So I'm going to take the JH30 brush. This is just a really big fluffy blending brush. And I'm going to use, none of these have names or numbers or anything on them, so I'm going to use this neutral shade right here. Take a little bit of that, tap off any of the excess, and I'm just going to apply this in my crease and work it up, and that's going to be my transition shade. You also want to try and avoid using warm tones when you're working with cool tones. It just doesn't, it's not very flattering. So a nice flesh tone neutral transition shade is going to be your best bet, especially if you're like me and you have this whole huge space in between your eyelid and your eyebrow. You definitely want to put something there, but you're not going to want it to be a gray and you're not going to want it to be a warm. So stick with a neutral shade. Okay, so I have my transition shade down. This is just going to help me blend all the other colors that I'm about to use. So now I'm going to go with the JH30 brush. This is just another blending brush. It's pretty fluffy and it's tapered. And I'm going to go in with my first cool tone. So I'm going to use this grayish cool tone shade right here in the palette. Pick up a little bit of that. And I'm just going to start this on the outer corner of my eye where my crease is and lightly blend it up. So this is a barely there shade. It's not going to make that much of an impact at all actually for this look. It's just going to help blend out the next gray that I'm going to go in with. And as always, going to go back in with the I should have these memorized by now, JH30 blending brush, and just buff those colors out. That way it looks seamless. I'm still going to stick with the JH32 brush, but now I'm going to pick up this darker gray shade that is right next to the one that we just used. So I'm going to pick up this one right here on the same JH32 brush. And I'm basically going to apply it everywhere I literally just applied that other shade. So the point of this is layering your shadows just brings more dimension to your eyeshadow look. It's very flattering. It might seem silly when you're doing it because you're like, oh my god, I'm just covering up these shadows that I literally just put down. I promise you, it just turns out looking amazing. So even though it might feel silly or like it's dumb, trust me, it's not. And I am mostly going to concentrate this on the outer V of my eye where my crease is. And then when I have less product on my brush, then I will start bringing it inward to my inner corner. And I'm literally just going back and forth, and then I will start doing circular motions with my brush. So once I have that color applied, with the back and forth motions, then I'm going to start blending with the circular motions. And since I'm doing an all over the lid shade, I'm really just trying to map out my crease because I'll blend that all over the lid shade up into my crease as well. So I just want to map out my crease. Okay, so now I'm going to take the JH30 brush and I'm just going to blend out this upper part of my eye lid. I'm going to go back in with that neutral shade right here. It's a very light shade. Just pick a little bit of that up, and that's just going to help me blend out this top portion of my eye where those grays are. Much better. You can tell it's just a lot more blended. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with a much smaller, it's not as fluffy as a brush. This is the JH33 brush. This is just going to help me define my crease even more. So you can tell like we're starting with lighter, going a little bit medium, and then now we're going to go on with the darker gray. So this is the darker gray that I talking about like I'm sitting here with a sister or something, that I am going to use and just further map out my crease. Pick up a little bit of that. And I am applying that directly into my crease fold. And as I've done with those other shades, I just want to place the color down with the windshield wiper motions. And then once the color's on there, then I'll start doing the circular motions to just start blending that out. I actually do not want to make this look as soft as I have with the other shades. I want this to really be bold right there in my crease. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with the JH32 fluffy blending brush and just buff out those edges. Okay, so now for the darkest shade that we're going to use, I'm going to use this one right here. It's got some glitter in it. It's just a really, really pretty dark, cool tone brown. I'll swatch it for you real fast. That is what it looks like. A bit more, so I'm going to go in with the JH33 brush and just start blending that all over the lid color out. So this shadow doesn't have near as much glitter as I was thinking that it did. In the pan it looked like there was a lot more glitter, so I'm probably going to do a topper on top of this just because I wasn't really going for like a totally matte eyeshadow look. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely going to do a topper. I just don't know which topper. Okay, so I'm actually going to go into, this is the Pixie palette. And the shadow that I want to use is actually broken, so I'm going to have to be really, really careful with it. I'll swatch it for you real quickly, that way you know what it looks like. It's just glitter, so I'm just going to put this directly on top of my lid. Much better. Okay, so you definitely, that just brought this look a lot more life, the glitter did, and totally like that a lot better than I did with that original shade. Alright, and to just deepen up this outer corner of my eye, I'm actually going to place another dark shade down just in the V of my eye. So I'm going to pick up that dark gray that we used earlier right here. And this is a Moto Pro 420 BMX brush. It's just a definer brush. I think I got this in my BoxyCharm. I was actually pretty impressed with them, just so that you know. And I'm just putting this on the outer V of my eye. Alright, and now to highlight my brow bone, I'm going to use the lightest shade in the palette. That's this one right up here in the corner. And I'm just putting that right under my brow, just on my brow bone. Okay, so now we need to clean up that mess that these shadows have made. So I'm just doing, as I always do, a makeup wipe. When you're working with really dark shades like this, it's probably a better idea to do your eyeshadow first and then go in with your foundation and concealer and stuff, just because once you have all that on, if you have any of that dark shadow falling down on your cheeks and under your eyes, it's going to be really difficult to clean that up without just like looking like a hot mess, like you got dirt all over your face. And since this is an affordable makeup look, I'm going to use the Infallible L'Oreal Up to 24 Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. But I am first going to prime my face with the NYX POREfessional. Okay, so I've let that sit on my skin for a few minutes. So you don't ever want to apply like pore filling silicone-y base primers and then go directly in with your foundation. It's just not going to sit well. It's going to mix in with the foundation and the finish is not going to look like it's supposed to if you had not used a silicone primer and went directly onto your face with foundation. So let it sit for a minute in your skin, let it absorb a little bit, and then go in with foundation. And for the affordable under eye concealer, I am going to use the Neutrogena Healthy Skin under eye concealer. It just looks like this. This one's really, really lightweight. It's one of the reasons I really like it. It does not put heavy product underneath my eyes and then a whole ton of creasing happens. So I really enjoy this drugstore concealer. And as always, I will go back in with the Beauty Blender that I used to apply my foundation and just blend out that concealer. Just like with the eyeshadow, you kind of just don't want to be able to see where one ends and where one begins. So that's why I always go back in and blend those two together as well. Alright, and this is definitely a foundation that I have to set with a powder. It's definitely dewy, so I am going to use, this is the Becca Cosmetics Hydra Mist. So this came in one of my BoxyCharms, and guys, it was the weirdest thing I'd probably ever felt. So it's 50% water, so when you apply it, it feels wet. It's wild, crazy powder. But it's not cakey, it doesn't dry up my foundation and crease super crazy, so I have really enjoyed this. I was so excited that BoxyCharm included this in that box. It's cool. So it says, this lid says keep me cool to keep me cold, so it's wet, but it's also a really cool mist. It's wild. I don't know how to explain it. You would have to try it to know what I'm talking about. So it definitely doesn't feel as cold as it did when I first got it. Like, I was seriously blown away. I just did not understand. I thought that my brush was wet the first time I used it and kind of started freaking out. Like, how the hell did my brush get wet? It's just hydrating powder mist. Okay, so now I'm going to finish my eyes. So I'm basically just going to mimic everything that I did to the top portion. I am going to now do to the bottom half of my eye, with the exception that I'm going to start with darker and then go lighter as I go down. So I'm just going to take, this is another one of those Mod Pro brushes. This is just a smudger brush. It's BMX 402. And I'm going to grab this darkest shade right here. And I'm going to apply that really close to my lash line. And then I'm going to go back in with that definer brush and pick up this lighter gray shade right here. And just blend that darker shade out. Okay, and with that same definer brush, I'm then going to go in with that very first neutral shade that we used, this light neutral, and just blend out that lower lash line even more. And I want this look to be very smoky and soft, so I'm not going to do like a gel liner or anything. What I am going to do is I'm going to take this same gel liner and just apply that really close to my lashes. Not a whole lot either. And then I'm going to go in, this is an angled brush, it's a Mod Pro BMX 498 liner brush. It's a very soft liner brush though, and I'm just going to smudge out that liner. And that's just going to give you that really soft and smoky liner look. So with looks like this, if you apply like a gel liner with it, it kind of just does not blend very well together. It just looks like, bam, harsh line and then real soft smoky eye. So sometimes that can be less than flattering. So I try to just stick with like a really smoky, soft liner. Nothing too defined or harsh. And then I'm also going to use what's left over on that angled brush and just take it really close to my lower lash line. Bam, just like that. Okay, so I did put on some false eyelashes. This is a pretty bold look, so I would not have felt complete without some false eyelashes. Anyway, let's continue on with this. So I'm going to use, so this is an affordable, so I picked this up when I got the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. This is the BH Studio Pro Contour palette, and I'm actually just going to use this contour shade right here. I feel like it looks the most natural on me. And I rubbed the name clean off of this brush. It's just an angled brush. Pick up a little bit of that. So I placed that in the hollows of my cheek, and then I also outline my forehead area close to my hairline. When you're contouring, you don't want to just do your cheeks and just have this line right there on your cheeks. You want to basically just frame your entire face with that contour shade. So I'm equally as impressed with this contour palette as I was with the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. Like I said, I had never used any of their products, so this is really, I love it. Especially that shade. It's just a really natural contour shade. It's not too warm and it's not too cool tone. It's just very natural, just mimics like a shadow on your face. It's just really, really pretty, and they blend out really well too. Okay, so contour is done. I'm gonna do a little bit of blush. Okay, so this is an affordable blush. This is the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Grinding Blush. Just looks like this. This is what it looks like on the inside. So you grind it, and the blush comes out like that. So a lot of product does come out in this, so you want to just real lightly, very, very lightly dip your, see how much that is? That's crazy. There is no way that I can go directly in on my face from that. So I'm going to tap off a lot of that shade. Most of it ended up on my hand. It's a very, very pretty shade. So I'm going to blend the rest of that in. Hopefully you can see it. It's just a really pretty pink blush. Alright, now for an affordable highlighter. So I'm going to use the Milani. It's like a trio highlighter. So it's got a pink, blue, and an orange. The pink is definitely my favorite. But since this is a fall look, I think I'm going to try the gold one right here. Gonna pick that up with my Beauty Blender. Wow, that's super pigmented too. So when I picked that up on my Beauty Blender, it looked a lot more crazy. But when I'm applying it, it's not showing up as crazy as it looks on the blender. It actually just looks like a really natural glow. I don't know why I don't use this one more often. Very pretty. Cool. Alright, now for lips. I'm trying to think, what's the most affordable lipstick or lip product that I have? Okay, so this is a Morphe lipstick. You can get this at Ulta for pretty cheap. And this is the shade Shady, Cream Shady. So it's just a really pretty brown shade. And I want to top that with the gloss. So I'm going to use, this is Milani Keep It Full Gloss. And I'm just going to real lightly top this lipstick with it. And last but not least, to finish this off, we are going to use a setting spray. And I'm going to use the NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. Alright guys, that is the final look. So I'm super, like I said, excited about fall. Not so much for the cool weather, but I love the styles and the makeup and the colors and the smells. I hate the cold though, just so that you know. I'm not a winter person, but I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I hope that this video has helped you in some way, or that you just enjoyed watching it. I don't know if you even watched it this far. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll see you later. Bye!